there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Rainbow Crush, which is a monthly hop hosted by Tara over at the Paper Snob, where we choose a color each month to focus on. The focus for this month is yellow. And so I have pulled out some spring paper from Echo Park. I believe it's called my favorite Easter. I think it's called My Favorite Easter. Anyway. It is very Easter themed. It's got some bunnies. It's got spring things, eggs, or, colored eggs, baskets, Easter baskets, all that kind of stuff. What am I documenting today? Easter. Shocker. I am going to be using the yellow side of this paper that has some eggs that are in rows on it on the back side. I'm not using the colorful eggs, but I'm going to use the yellow side and focus on doing a whole bunch of yellow. And that is why I pulled out this picture of deviled eggs. So this was our Easter this year. It was very simple. I had asked my son what he wanted to do for Easter, and they were just coming off of a very rough few weeks or so. With a car being stolen, medical stuff going on with the injury and whatnot. And so they basically decided they really just wanted to have a low-key weekend and not do a whole lot. The only thing he said he really wanted for Easter was deviled eggs. So we didn't do a really big get together or anything. We didn't really do anything. So a friend of mine, their family was kind of in a low key situation also. And so we decided to get together, me and my husband, her and her husband, and, have like an Easter dinner, I guess. Easter, what do you call it? I guess maybe some people call it supper. When it's between lunch and dinner, we call it dinner or dunch. I don't know. So that's what we had. But I did make deviled eggs and took them to my son, and he was very appreciative. And so we did get to see each other, but we didn't really do an Easter celebration. So I also brought deviled eggs and our traditional family Jello salad type deal, or it's really more of a dessert. It's not salad. Let's be clear on that. So I brought that and the mashed potatoes, and then my friend did the rest of the baking or cooking. And there's a photo there of her husband making some drinks. They had Tom Collins, which she remembered from being at our house on another event or family like gathering. I think it was Thanksgiving actually. That my brother usually makes like a Tom Collins for everybody if they want one. And so it was really nice and thoughtful of her to think about doing that, since the rest of my family that I would normally do that with is all in Idaho. So it was very thoughtful of her and very kind, and I really enjoyed that, and it was a wonderful drink. So anyway, so that's all I'm documenting today is our low-key Easter. Thankful for friends and thankful for family, and even if there's no need to the flexibility of not having to feel like we have to put on a big to-do, but we can still do something if we want to. And it doesn't have to be on Easter. But yeah, so that's all this is about. And so yeah, I'm decorating accordingly. I did pull out some Lindy's Magicals in, I think it's called something Bayou Gold. I'm going to look it up right now since I actually have that page open on, it's called Bayou Boogie Gold is what I believe I'm using there. And I really like it because if you don't mix it up too much, it's not it's still gold, but it's got like the pinks and orange little bursts in it, and even a little bit of green. So it kind of reminds me of colored Easter eggs when I zoom in on it. And if you stick around for the close-ups at the end, you'll see that, because I do zoom in. The last slide that I zoom in on is all of that beautiful shimmery gold goodness with all of those little bursts in it. So I think that's really pretty. I got up and went over to find some ribbon because um, I thought that would be fun to put on here. Basically, I don't know, Easter ribbon. It sounds good. You know, we always used to get dressed up for Easter and everything. And so it felt like this was kind of a dressy occasion and I should dress up my layout. Also, the friend that I'm hanging out with on this particular event is a scrapbooker, and she uses a lot of ribbon in her scrapbooking and a lot of other, um, you know, I don't want to say unconventional, but unconventional items, more like items that we all started out with. She still uses all of them, and she uses mixed media. She uses everything basically. But a lot of us, at least for me, or in my small group, we kind of forget about those types of things unless we're told to use them on a recipe challenge. So I decided to pull out some ribbon and put it on there. And I'm definitely not a pom-pom kind of person, but the pom-poms were sitting there next to this yellow ribbon, and it just so happened they were like right next to each other. And I went, okay, it was a sign, I'm going to use it. Those daffodils are from the 49 and Market Ochre collection. It's one of their lines that is all just one color. And I really wish they would bring those back because they're really cool. I didn't get my hands on them until a little bit later, and I really don't have that many of them. But I think they're very useful and definitely have their place, especially in this particular occasion where I am doing a monochromatic layout in all yellows for the most part. There's a little pink in there, but yeah, so I just love that, and um, I think they should definitely bring those back. I did take one of the 4x6 cards that have the Easter baskets on them. I did fussy cut those out. I thought I would use more than one of them, but I end up just using one of them on this layout. But that didn't stop me from cutting out a whole bunch of them. And then just kind of playing with which size I wanted to use. I wasn't really sure how they would nestle up in there, but I end up going with one I think that's a little bit larger than the one that's on the, yeah, there you go. So one that's the medium size. I first cut a large one, then cut a small one, and then thought, oh my goodness, Goldilocks here, you need a medium one. And so that's what I ended up with. I did fussy cut the other two out because I didn't feel like I needed to hold on to the card that just basically had nothing left on it. So those get fussy cut out and saved for another layout, and you'll see those later this month on a different layout. So now I just need a place to do my journaling, and so I'm pulling out a couple of labels to put above my deviled egg photo there, and I am just going to tuck those in so that I can basically write a little bit about the day and the time that we were able to spend together. I also, shocker, pulled out some bows. I don't hardly ever use bows. They're just not my thing, but again, with Easter, dressing up and being a little fancy, and maybe, the little girl in me is coming out or something like that. And I ended up putting a couple of bows on this layout because it felt like it was appropriate. So there you go. You're getting a couple of bows, one on my Easter basket handle and one up there on the ribbon. I just went ahead and used my tiny attacher to hold the one that's on the ribbon. I did use my ATG to hold down the pom-poms, and then I added a little liquid glue here and there, and then I used liquid glue for the yellow piece as well to hold it all in place. That is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them back down below. Oh, and don't forget to go and check out what everyone else is doing with yellow for their Rainbow Crush layouts. I almost forgot to tell you that in all of my talking. So yeah, go check out the links down below. There's people playing along on Instagram as well as on YouTube, and you're going to want to see what they are doing with their yellow layouts. So hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind, and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys again real soon with another video. Take care and have a great day. Bye.